Because of the growing economy of Brazil, beautiful landscape, beautiful beaches and beautiful cities, so many foreigners has been attracted to this wonderful country called Brazil. Of course, let me not forget to tell you that the women here are beautiful and beautiful people, accommodating too. Now, so many foreigners who come here to Brazil, some of them for on vacation, some of them on immigration, like to get a permanent resident. They leave their country of origin with the mindset that here in Brazil there are persons who speaks English, there are persons who speak Spanish or French. On getting here, so many of them get surprised because the only language that is being spoken here is Portuguese. As such, things become so hard, life becomes so hard because they will need someone to follow them around to be able to do things, to reach out with their daily needs, like getting a job. What do you think? Do you think it's easy to get a job in Brazil? What does a foreigner need to get a job in Brazil? All these are what I'm going to be covering on this video, so please stay and watch to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Enairo. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about what does a foreigner need to get a job in Brazil. First on the list is basic Portuguese. Now, if you're coming to Brazil, first, please, I want you to go and learn your Portuguese. Try to learn Portuguese, basic Portuguese for you to get you around, okay? That's the first thing you need. Now, after getting your basic Portuguese, I don't know how you'll be coming, what you'll be coming to do, because if you're coming just with a tourist visa, please, I want you to know that you cannot get a job in Brazil. It's not allowed unless you go and talk to the government, go through the legal processes by going to the Policia Federal, the federal police, and you know, there are so many ways you can talk to them, get a lawyer also or something. Then if you get a temporary stay or a permanent stay, then you're good to go. That's the second step. Now, after getting that, they will now give you a protocol to depends on the level at which your communication, your status. They'll give you a protocol. If you're staying, if you need to get a job, that means you need to get a temporary stay or a permanent stay. Now, when you get this protocol of a temporary stay or a permanent stay, you will need to get a CPF. That CPF is what we call the Social Security number here in places like America. After getting that, they will not ask you, the person that will be giving you that will tell you to go directly to the Ministério do Trabalho, Receita Federal. Receita Federal will be the person to will give you the CPF. After Receita Federal have given you the CPF, they will ask you to go to Ministério do Trabalho. Ministério do Trabalho will give you the working permit, which is called the Carteira de Trabalho. When you get the Carteira de Trabalho, then you're almost there. You're almost good to go. Now, once you get the Carteira de Trabalho, it's now time for you to find a job. But how do you get this job? Now, we have different types of jobs. We're going to be covering these different types of jobs. We have the high professional job, which are jobs like doctor, nurses, lawyers, IT professionals. Now we have those kind of jobs. Then we have the skilled job, which are jobs like welders, tailors, mechanics, electricians, drivers, truck drivers, forklift drivers, trailer drivers, We have this kind of job. Then we have the non-skilled job, which are jobs like cleaners, factory workers. Gardening is a professional, is a skilled job, but here it is regarded to depends on the type of gardening you're going to be doing. Because I don't know, there's another name for that. You just cutting of grasses, just cutting of grasses. You don't need a certificate to do that. You can do that. They can teach you, or you can do that. I think they call it selahera, something like that. They call it here. So now, having mentioned this type of job, we're going to be going through them as easier as fast you can get them. Now, once you come to Brazil for the first time, you can speak your basic Portuguese. I want you to know that it is difficult, very difficult, but there is nothing that is impossible. The only group of people who can get a job first here, but they will also be needing Portuguese so that they can communicate with the people who can give them this job, is the people on the IT jobs, the people that are dealing with information technology. These guys, they don't need Portuguese that much, because everything they will be doing is in English. Everything you'll be doing, if you're working with the information technology company, with an information technology company, everything you'll be doing is in English. You'll be working in English, so you don't need that much, and you can get a job very fast. Depends on the part of it that you are working with. That being said, let's move forward to the others. Teachers. As a teacher, I'm sorry, you can't get a job here unless you want to get a job as an English teacher. If you want to get a job as an English teacher, fine, good. You can, but this is what you have to do: basic Portuguese. Now, with your basic Portuguese, you have to be a good controller of the English language and know your English very well. Then you can get a job. Maybe those who are English teacher from a Spanish-speaking country or French-speaking country, they can also get a job as either a Spanish-speaking teacher or a French-speaking teacher, teaching those in Portuguese or those in multinational companies, English or Portuguese, English or Spanish or French. Okay, so that's that. Another thing that is easy for you to get a job again is being an Uber driver. Now, being an Uber driver is easy for you to get a job. One, you don't need to buy a car. You just need your document, and you can rent a car. You can. There are so many places you can rent a car so that you can walk, and you have your Wiz GPS, which can take you around. So on that note, you can get a job, employ yourself. You can employ yourself through this medium. Now, another medium that you can get a job easily is selling something. Selling something like, getting to buy clothes. There are places here in Brazil where they sell clothes very cheap. You go there and you buy them cheap and sell around for the people. So on that note, you can get a job. Now, let's talk about the skilled works. The skilled jobs, you can also get them, but you also need this Portuguese. Now, if you are a mechanic or you are an electrician, you can get a job first. Now, I want to give you 3 jobs that you can get first as a skilled worker: a mechanic, electrician, and forklift driver. If you're a forklift driver, these 3 jobs, you can get it very fast. A mechanic, electrician, forklift driver, and a welder too. You can get a job very fast if you have these 4 skills. You can get a job very fast, but you need your basic Portuguese. Now, there are companies who can employ you without so much Portuguese. So it's not that easy to find, but you can find it. It's not impossible. You can find it. Okay, especially if you're an electrician, you can find a job fast. An electrician and a forklift driver, you can get a job so very fast. Now, the non-professional job is the most easiest job you can get. But among these non-professional jobs, you also have some which are very easy, are more easier than the others. Now, the first job that is very easy to get because you don't need to communicate that much is a cleaner. If you're a cleaner in a condominium, in one of these, I don't know what we call it in English, or is real estate or something, one of these big buildings, you can be a cleaner in this building. You don't need to communicate that much. That's okay. You'll get that job fast. Factory workers, because in Brazil they have a lot of factory. They have production companies that produce chocolate, so many things. They need workers. They need workers. So most of the foreigners that comes here from Africa, Haiti, Venezuela, they get this kind of job. They get it very fast. There's also a way you can get this job, but we're getting to that. Now, when you get this job, you'll be needing your Portuguese. You can also work in a car wash. You can also work in a car wash. You can work as a gate man, as a security man in a company. You stay at the gate, open and close. You don't need to communicate so much. So these jobs are easier to get. So when you come here to Brazil, calm down with your pride and look for this job first. I must tell you that when I came here, I started as a cleaner, and that helped me a lot to learn the language very fast, because you can only learn the language very fast when you're working around the people who speaks Portuguese, the Brazilians. Because if you come here and stick around with your community, the people in your community, I bet you live here 10, 15 years, you can never learn the language. So you will learn the language fast, because they say necessity is the bedrock of invention. Because when you are around the people who speak Portuguese, you'll be forced to learn, because they will want you to learn. They will force it into you because they want to be able to communicate to you. Because Brazilians, they like to communicate, they like to talk, they are inquisitive, they like to know where you're from, what's going on there, why you came to their country. So they will be forcing you. Then by that you will learn the language very fast. Now, looking for a job in Brazil, there are ways you can look for a job in Brazil. First, if you're in Brazil and you don't speak a lot of Portuguese, don't stay far away from your translator. Your translator will be your brother. Another thing, when you come here, your CV, the CV you use in your country is different from the CV that you are using here. The format of the CV they use here is different. So before, that will be in another video. I'll talk about that in another video, okay? Now, the sites that you can use to look for job in Brazil, you have the Expat, you have the Cato, you have Indeed, you have LinkedIn. There are so many of them. You just go on Google and search job sites in Brazil. Site de emprego. You can write site de emprego. They will bring many of them for you to, that you can visit, you can translate, and apply. Now, as a foreigner, depends on the city you are. Like in São Paulo, every local government, which they call prefeitura, have an agency of the government which help the citizens to look for job, to get their retirement, so many things that the citizens they want to do. So this agency, they also help the citizens to look for job. Now, if you come to Brazil, these agencies can also help you to look for a job. First, you have to go and apply for a job there. If you want to get a job first, you have to go and apply there. Every local government also have free Portuguese classes for every strangers that are living in Brazil. For every foreigner that are living in Brazil, they have free Portuguese classes. It's just for you to get to know the local government building, the local government, which is the prefeitura. Go there and ask them. They will tell you where you can find these persons who are doing these free Portuguese classes. Also, there's every local government, which is prefeitura in Brazil, have what they call Apoio de Imigrante. Apoio de Imigrante is an organization of the government which give help to foreigners that are in Brazil. So every local government have this Apoio de Imigrante. So when you get there to this, especially this Apoio de Imigrante, if you go there, first they will take your name. They will take your name. They will help you to do a lot of things. I will advise that when you come to Brazil, the first place you should go is to look for this Apoio de Imigrante, because they will help you to do a lot of things. They will help you to look for a job. They will help you to locate where they have this Portuguese class for free. They will help you. They can even help you to look for an accommodation for you to stay. So this Apoio Imigrante is very, very important. Every local government in Brazil have that, especially here in São Paulo. Here in São Paulo, I don't know a lot about Rio de Janeiro, but I know that in Brasilia, in Santa Catarina, in São Paulo, they have it. The places that function most in Brazil with this Apoio de Imigrante, the places that I know that yes, they do a lot of good job. They do a good job is in São Paulo, in Santa Catarina. I know they do a lot of good job. In Brasilia, they do a good job there. Now in São Paulo, I want you to know that São Paulo have a lot of São Paulo states. We have São Paulo City, which is in São Paulo State. Now in São Paulo State, we have about 100 and something cities in São Paulo State. Now Campinas, after São Paulo City, we have Campinas as the second largest commercial city. Now in Campinas, metropolitan cities around Campinas, which we have about I think we have about, if I'm not mistaken, 30 or 40 of them. So each of these places have this prefeitura and this free Portuguese classes and Apoio de Imigrante. So as an immigrant, the first thing you have to do when you come to São Paulo, when you are in São Paulo, look for a city, go on the internet, look for the city, the commercial cities that have a lot of jobs. Go to that city, look for the Apoio de Imigrante, talk to them. They will show you how to get to the prefeitura. From the prefeitura, or you can go to the prefeitura first because it's very easy to find the prefeitura. Go to the prefeitura first. From the prefeitura, which is the local government area, they will show you how to get to the Apoio de Imigrante. From there, they will show you how you can apply with them, you can register with them. After registering with them, they will take your information and they will take your number. From there, when there is a job, they will call you. Having said that, I guess we've come to the end of this topic. Until I meet you again, once again, it's your boy Inairo. If this is your first time of getting to my channel, please, I want you to subscribe. Please don't watch us without subscribing, because if you subscribe, like, share, comment, and click on the notification button, so many people around will be needing this video. They will need to see this video, so that because it will be of a greater help to them before they come to Brazil. So please be your brother's keeper, subscribe, like this video, and comment. Until I meet you again, it's your boy Inairo. Peace out.